Now let's talk about Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
This is a horror film that came out recently. What is it on? Is it on Shudder?
I watched it on
Shudder.
Shudder. It got a theatrical run a month ago, a few weeks ago, and now it hit Shudder just within the last few weeks.
Okay, Jeff, give the rundown. What is Late Night with the Devil all about?
Late Night with the Devil is it's not exactly found footage, but it's kind of found footage. It's telling you that it's from like the late or early 1970s, I think, late 1960s, or somewhere in the 1970s. It's a
77.
Okay, there you go, late 70s. So it's a talk show like Johnny Carson, Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. They reference Johnny Carson as the competitor to this show. It's the guy who played Polka Dot Man is like the host. I should know the guy's name, but I don't.
It's like David
Demalkane or something. Yeah,
I don't know how to pronounce the last name.
But he's a talk show host, in a competing late night TV show to the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. So, they have the guests on and they have a band and they crack wise and do little skits and everything else. But he's never managed to really come close to taking Johnny Carson's top spot. And he always aspires to that and wishes that he could, but he's always second fiddle. So one fateful night on his show, he has a woman who purports that she has a little girl with her who is actually possessed by a demon. And so we see this play out on live TV, and the guy is like sort of like scheming over it a little bit. He's like, I'm going to exploit this to finally, this will be what shoots me ahead in the ratings, this crazy stunt here, sort of disregarding the safety and wellness of everyone around him, because the twist is that the little girl actually is possessed by a demon.
The end.
And that's the way the movie ended.
Yeah, Steve, your thoughts on Late Night with the Devil?
I liked it until I didn't.
Yeah, same. Yep.
Like I was really invested, because you get a lot of background on this host. He was married and his wife tragically died from cancer. He was part of like a kind of a group of Hollywood bigwigs. And there were, rumors that at this resort that the Hollywood bigwigs went to, it was, satanic, or they were dealing with the occult. And then you get they have like a psychic on who just does, just John Edwards, like the biggest douchebag in the world. He does readings like that. But yeah, it turns out that like he I don't know if he was always legit or if being in the room with the devil made him legit, but he does do like an actual reading. There's like a Ronan, who's the super skeptic, is like Randy something.
The Amazing Randy.
The Amazing Randy, yeah. There's a character who I believe is meant to be like the Amazing Randy analog. He is a super skeptic, and then he's he immediately tries to point out all the ways that Chris Stu was basically bullshitting his way through the psychic reading. And then here comes the woman who interviews the little girl who is possessed by the devil, and that part is awesome. I loved like the demon summoning. I love the part where they're playing the footage back and the main guy says, wait, I saw something weird. Go frame by frame, and you see the footage going frame by frame, and in like one frame, like the ghost of his dead wife is behind him, and all that was awesome. And then you get to the ending of the movie, and it's just like time to be weird. It's just this guy starts like hallucinating. He starts hallucinating that he is in skits from previous episodes of his show, and he's losing his mind. And it's just I don't know.
They break the aesthetic that they've got, where the aesthetic of the movie is that you're watching like this is a recording of what happened on that fateful night. Let's pop it in and see what happened. And then they do a little bit of a stylistic thing where they still have the camera rolling during the commercial breaks, and then you get some different stuff. But that could still fit under the conceit of it being all just the record of what happened that night. And then at the end, like you're saying, Steve, they break out of that and then do this more theatrical or filmic thing where we're following this character in his experience. And that I think that it's found footage movies always kind of fail at the end, because it's like, how do you end it? So they chose to do this, which I kind of I respect the choice because like I said, the found footage movies always kind of just fall, the camera falls over and cut to black. So here they tried to do something a little more theatrical with it, but yeah, I could see it being pretty jarring and takes you out of what you thought you were seeing. And the movie is it's really good until it's not. Like you said, the movie's good, not great. And for a lot of movies, being good is good enough. Like I'll recommend a good movie. I'll watch a good movie over and over. I'll watch bad movies over and over for that matter. But in this case, with specifically what Late Night with the Devil is doing, being good but not great is kind of like a shot through the heart of it. Like the fact that this didn't stick the landing and get across the finish line as a great film means, in my opinion, people are going to forget about this, in a year. It's not going to be something that people care much about after this, initial. It's new right now, so people are checking it out. But I don't think this movie is going to have legs. Maybe I'll be wrong and I'll eat crow on that, but I don't think it will.
Yeah,
I think I agree with that.
completely
Yeah,
agree.
I agree with that. And I watched it, and I guess I kind of echo everything that you guys said. I thought it was really interesting. I watched the Red Letter Media review of this because I think that popped up
Mm.
shortly after, and they said the same thing. They liked it, but it wasn't great. Like it just didn't quite get there. And one of their criticisms of it was the aesthetic of it all. So they had a particular problem with like, okay, if they go to commercial, then what they should have done is sort of had the characters talking in the background, maybe still mic'd up, but it wouldn't make sense that suddenly there's like these documentary cameras like
Yeah.
in their face, getting close-ups in between this and cutting back and forth and stuff like that. To me, that's not a criticism that I take super serious in something like this, because I feel like I know what they're going for.
Right.
This is what they're trying to do. I'm not going to sort of, be ticky tack about, oh God, that close up cutting to another close up to a medium, and this is supposed to be behind the scenes. I don't care about that. What I do care about though is, like you said, the very end. That's the problem. The very end, to me, I didn't understand what was going on. Like, I just didn't understand what they were trying to say with this. Was this, some sort of revenge from his dead wife somehow? Because it kind of intimate that his wife got this cancer, sort of maybe, so that he could have this thing happen where he got really big in the ratings, possibly, maybe, but they don't really explain that. And it just bounces around from, I mean, it's hard to explain unless you've actually seen it.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
mean,
bouncing around these different things. It doesn't make any sense to me,
the
really.
way I interpreted it, and a spoiler alert, but whatever. I feel like he was part of this society, and I felt like he, gave his wife as an offering in some way, shape, or form. So you've heard of like selling your soul to the devil.
Yeah.
I feel like he, gave his wife up in exchange for success in his career as a talk show host.
Yeah. And they sort of insinuate that he's sleeping with that other chick, right?
Yeah,
With the
yeah, for
daughter
sure.
and stuff. And maybe he was cheating on his wife with her. And this is all sort of, the devil's revenge. I guess. I mean, the devil's coming to pay, or coming to get what he's owed or
Coming to
whatnot. But
collect.
yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the end, and I think that
Yeah.
seems to be
Yep.
universal. People just don't like the ending of this movie, and I think you're right, Jeff. I think it harms the overall thing because it is so good up
Right.
until
Like
that.
it's one thing when they do all this cool stuff with the visuals and the aesthetic and the dressing everybody up in period garb, and they have a whole studio audience of people, and like the movie set on Halloween night, so there's people in like the studio audience dressed in cool 70s era Halloween costumes and stuff, and all that stuff's great. Like you pull up some random horror movie on Tubi and it's no good, it's C grade trash, but who cares. But this one, like they take all this time to do this production and set it in a period where they almost get there. I mean, they think of the sets they built for this and the wardrobe and
Yeah.
everything, and then for it to not quite get there makes it like even more disappointing than watching just an overtly bad movie on Tubi or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
feel like
did.
they were focusing on the wrong person. Like the guy that plays the host, he's cool. He does a good job, but like, how do you have the devil not be the focus of the movie with the word devil in the title? Like it seems like
Yeah, that's a
very
good point too.
quickly they move on from the possessed chick, and I'm watching this and it's like I don't care about this guy's
Yeah, good point.
background. Like, the fucking devil is in this room with him. I want to see what the devil is doing, and it turns out not a whole hell of a lot.
When the girl, her head splits open and there's like, electricity coming out and everything like that. I think that was kind of the moment for me in this. And I watched this with Alyssa as well. And
Mhm.
I think she can sort of agree with me. That was the moment where the movie really lost us
Yeah, it's just too
because
much.
it seemed, and it's clearly CG. They can't hide. Like, there's a sequence early on when this guy, I think it's Christou, starts vomiting like
Yeah.
black stuff, and it's clearly
Yep.
CG. Like, it doesn't look real at all, and it's stuff, little things like that. I was like, okay, you're taking me out of it a little bit more. But then when it goes so hog wild with this head split electricity, and I'm just like, this doesn't look like it should.
Mhm.
Like, it looks wrong. It looks weird. I don't understand what's happening. Why is this happening? Did they just write this because they were like, oh, this would be a cool visual, let's do this, and then it's just weirdness after weirdness after weirdness. I don't know. Overall, like, I guess if I had to give this one a letter grade, I'd probably give this one maybe a C plus.
Yeah.
I
Same.
do think it's worth watching.
Mhm.
Just go in with your expectations of, you're probably not going to either understand the ending of it or like the ending of it. How
Yep.
would you rate this one, Steve?
See, it's like the ending is so bad. It drops what was like like the movie is probably like a B plus. I'd say maybe even like an A up until the chick's head splits in half, and then it was just so out of nowhere and so against like the tone of the rest of the movie that it kills it. Yeah, I'd say like C.
Almost like they were trying to just be weird for weird's sake and trying to get away with it.
That's what I got too.
Yeah.
That's was just there was very little story being told at that point. It's just look at the pretty lights. Yeah, didn't care for the ending. Good movie until it wasn't.
Okay, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's a review of Late Night with the Devil. You can check it out on Shudder. Give that a look. It was all right.